Oh man, I'm not gonna lie to you. It has been a minute since I've recorded a video. So look, let's just get right into it. I've been off track, very off track. It's been a minute since I've posted. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's been at least 8 days, 8, 9 days since my last upload. I had one in the archives, but ultimately I just decided to not publish it because I'm not gonna lie to you. These past few weeks, really, it felt like ever since I had that moment of me flaking out, which I don't even think that video got posted, so you probably don't even know the story. But I flaked out on a social event, and from there, I kind of started just to stumble a little bit. I had generated a lot of momentum. Obviously, when I started this channel, the main purpose of it was to document my love life, to essentially overcome the limiting beliefs I have around it, and talk to more women, socialize more, and all that, and ultimately just pass forward real time insights, I guess, like if you're in the same position as me, because I know there is plenty, and I mean a plethora of other guys that are in very similar situations. And ultimately, I'm not going to lie to you, like it kind of got to me a little bit of like, man, like I was having doubts of whether or not I actually wanted to do this or not. Ultimately, I do want to help when it comes to this problem, but obviously, because I'm in the midst of solving it myself, it's like it feels like a little bit more pressure, like I have to get this done. And ultimately, like it made me feel like socializing felt like a job in a sense. Like it felt like if I missed out on one event, even if it was something I didn't really want to attend to, I ultimately would just be I would feel very bad about it. I would ultimately just kind of like shut down. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like the future, like what I have in mind for this channel, I don't know. I don't know. I'm still going to continue the same thing. Like, I'm still just going to continue it just to have something in my routine, to have something, to have some sort of rhythm. But ultimately, like, in the grand scheme of things, I don't know. I have no clue. I'm just documenting myself. I think at this point, I've kind of I've kind of for so long wanted to just to document myself, and obviously, there's a lot of things I go into it, but I think that just starting here and just documenting, even though like I don't know what this video title is going to be, it's probably going to be something along the lines of like I fell off, or like like I needed a break, or something like that, like something to the effect of that. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like it's I haven't, in terms of actually talking to women, I feel like I haven't made that much progress since my last upload. But if anything, a thing that I found out about, I actually finished a book. It's called How to, I think it's like How to Heal Trauma Response, Memory Reconsolidation. Something along the lines of that. It's definitely more of a mental type of book. And I love these type of books. And the reason why I bring this up is because ultimately, when it comes to talking to women, I think my issue, and maybe even your issue as well, if you're watching this, you let me know, is that you don't necessarily need help on what to say word for word, like, hey, how do I talk to this girl? Like when you say how do you talk to this girl, you're, at least when I interpret that, I look at it more as like, okay, how do I feel confident while talking to this girl? How do I feel relaxed? How do I bring out my authentic self? Like it's more of the mental aspect as opposed to what do I actually say, because in situations where I felt comfortable before, I know like it just rolls off the tongue. Like my issue isn't actually talking, it's more of just being comfortable while I talk. Maybe you're in the same boat, you let me know, but nevertheless, I want to attack this. My new strategy is I want to attack this from the mental side of things. I don't want to necessarily, like, yes, of course, we're still going to put in the work and socialize and, of course, talk to women, but it's not going to be coming from the standpoint of like solely taking action on that without making or without having any sort of like kind of game plan in mind or having any sort of adjustments made. The reason why the mental aspect is so important, especially like why I brought up this book in particular, is because I think a lot of us, when we have that nervousness, it sometimes it's not even really from that person, if that kind of makes sense. It almost feels like, especially if you're socially anxious, even though you don't know the person whatsoever and you have no clue what they're going to say, what their personality is, and anything, they could be the most comforting person you can ever meet in the world. Ultimately, you still have this response of like tightening up your body and feeling anxious and sweating and all this. Like, and I'm gonna be real, this is me. I don't know what it is, but it feels like for the past like few years, really like a few years ago, I was kind of fine socially. Like the only nervous thing I would really do was just like my heart would beat, but that was really it. Like that was really it. But now, like it feels like every year it's gotten to the point where like I get more and more symptoms. Like my heart starts beating, I start sweating. Like now, as of recently, the past month, I notice I start almost like sweating. And I'm like, when is this? Like I've never sweated before. Like I've never, like it's always my nervousness is always showed in a different way. Or like I'll be like a little fidgety and shaky. Like I will literally like almost like kind of shake a little bit. Like it's crazy. It's crazily it is crazily embarrassing. I don't know how to really describe it. It's just embarrassing. You know what I mean? Like I'm like shake like I'm like freaking out and whatnot. Like I'm basically just freaking I need to reboot my computer system. And it really hurts because ultimately it's like I'll be in the midst of a good conversation and then I'll have to like look away, or I'll have to kind of like pause the conversation and kind of like ruin the flow, because if I go too far, then I'm gonna show like too much nervousness that's gonna make it obvious. So it's like I realize that at this point it's more of a mental issue when it comes to that. So why not actually take the initiative to improve my mental around it, and more so the trauma response? Like I said, I don't know what, I don't know how deep I want to go into this, because ultimately this is more of the social aspect of things. I'm I haven't really made any videos talking about the psychology or mental work of anything else, but nevertheless, screw it, let's get into it, because honestly, these videos are, I'm starting back at square one with these videos. So, I mean, I don't know who's watching this, but hey, if you're still watching this far, I appreciate it. But essentially, our trauma response it's in our body, like our nervous system. So whenever you have it, it's like if you were to touch a cart that was like to shock you with static, and then let's say like a month later you touch a cart, and even though like you don't know, like it could be completely fine, your nervous system like kind of like shakes a little bit, or like it kind of tightens up, is expecting it to shock you, even though that was only a one-time thing, or maybe it happened multiple times, but this time around it isn't going to shock you. So it's kind of like the same thing in that sense, but you can get rid of it through, obviously, you know, through healing it and through like the mental framework and whatnot. And that's something that I'm going to be doing for my social anxiety. I realize I'm going to make a video on this later. There's going to be definitely another video on social anxiety, but I know that like my social anxiety over the years have gotten worse and worse, and has gotten to the point now where it's like, all right, it's time to take actual action on it, and then ultimately just let it go. To let it go, and then just to ultimately just socialize more, and it will remove such a blockage. And I think that's something that might help you as well, because I really do think that like a lot of us, especially if we're talking to women that we actually want to talk to, we're not just putting ourselves in situations where we're talking to random clubbing girls that, if you're not into that stuff, or if you're talking to like a girl who's into to rock music, and you don't even can't even name one freaking rock star or anything, right? Like if you're talking to actually women that you want to be talking to like around, then it's just gonna flow. This is gonna be easy. It's gonna flow, and that's something that shouldn't necessarily. It's not necessarily a matter of like what to say, but just how to say it, how to convey yourself in that manner. But yeah, that's gonna be today's video. I'm gonna try to upload these. Honestly, I think I'm gonna try. I don't want to make any promises, but I want to just try to upload every day. I don't know what the videos are going to be. Like I said, like I feel like when it comes to this channel, I just started, but I just feel so kind of confused on what to make this, if that kind of makes sense. And like, just, I don't know, just beginning struggles, which is weird because obviously I have a whole another channel that's established, monetized and everything, but it isn't necessarily purposeful. So this channel is definitely going to be one of those channels where it's a lot of uploads, and the upload sub ratio, and this is going to be a lot. But nevertheless, I'm excited for it. I'm excited because I missed recording. I did miss recording. Like I've been handling stuff outside of work, or rather outside of YouTube, and I've missed this. Like I felt kind of like soulless for the past week or so, just not filming and not documenting myself. So that's how I feel about it. But yeah, that's gonna be today's video. I will see you in the next one. Peace, 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 peace.